A man who is a chief justice not only hires someone to steal his own car, but also brings his son to create false evidence on video. He has meticulously planned this out, with the aim of covering up his son's fatal accident. The first thing Mafia boss Kang-hyeon did upon his release was to check on his son's household registration. What breaks his heart even more is that, according to police report, Lil Kim was involved in a car accident around 7:30 and didn't die immediately after the accident. The driver not only fled the scene but also left him abandoned for about 30 minutes, until he was discovered by passing citizens at 8 o'clock. When he was taken to the hospital, he still showed signs of life, but ultimately, resuscitation failed and the doctor declared him dead after the accident. He had been rushed to the hospital immediately. Could my son possibly have survived? The doctor mentioned the chances of survival were high. Furthermore, Kang-hyeon wants to know how many years the criminal will be sentenced. According to Korean law, if there was a clear intent to kill, it would be at least 10 years. But this is a standard hit-and-run case. With the maximum penalty of 5 years, police have a recording of the emergency call from the incident, believing it to be made by Lil Kim. Here's a spoiler. The driver was trying to call the police, but suddenly suffered an asthma attack, so the recording only captured the judge's son's voice. However, Kang-hyeon is not aware. He listens to the agonizing deaths in the recording. On top of that, his son's disfigured stayed in front of him. For a moment, it felt like something stabbed his chest. He couldn't even cry out. In no time, at Lil Jin's funeral, his eldest son, Daejin, returned from the US without permission. He flew back to Korea from America. However, during his eldest son's actions, the mother believes he caused the death of her youngest son. After all, Jin qualifies to inherit the conglomerate after Lil Jin's death, and the only beneficiary is Daejin. Thus, Kang-hyeon decided to personally track down the driver responsible. He ordered his eldest son, Daejin, to fly back to America immediately. In the meantime, Chief Justice Song Chang-min was also busy. He called in his brother-in-law to scheme to exonerate his son. His wife had passed away 2 years ago, so he played the emotional card. He stated that his son cannot move on from his mother's death, and the car he is driving happens to be his late wife's and must hold many fond memories. Thus, Song Chang-min asked his brother-in-law to really handle the car without raising anyone's suspicion. He needed it taken care of quietly. The clueless brother-in-law understood his brother-in-law's struggles. He agreed without any hesitation. Once the first step was completed, Song Chang-min hurried home immediately. He carefully reviewed his son's account of the incident. Then he waited for the thief to steal the car the next day. Next, he took his son to the columbarium. He deliberately let the cameras capture them. This served as false evidence, but he didn't expect that. When the father and son left the columbarium, they discovered workers repairing the cameras. After inquiring carefully, they learned the cameras had stopped working 4 days prior. After replacing, they had to connect to a server to function. This meant his son's whereabouts were not recorded at all. At night, Jin Kang-hyeon played his son's last voice over and over. Suddenly, he heard a strange noise. He immediately moved the progress bar hat. He carefully listened to identify the source. Sure enough, it was the sound of the car starting, and the alarm sounded while reversing.